The Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is a high-end phablet with a curved screen from China. We have tested it for a very long time now. I'm Christopher for CMM, enjoy this review. The Xiaomi Mi Note 2 comes with the typical Xiaomi accessories, which include some documents, a power supply, USB cable and of course a SIM tool. The design of the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is great. The curved rear and front glass almost seamlessly meet up with the phone's frame on the left and right side. The frame itself is slightly curved too, which results in a very nice, almost silky feel in the hands. The metal frame is thinner on the left and right than on the upper and lower side. The design makes the phone feel extremely slim and comfortable inside the hands, and despite the 5.7-inch screen it seems rather compact. In case you worry, the rear glass isn't as slippery as on previous glass phones by Xiaomi. Older phones with a glass rear used to slide across tables easily, leaving you with a huge risk of dropping your phones onto the floor. This is not the case anymore, and the rear glass also is scratch-proof, by the way. Build quality of the buttons unfortunately isn't as top-notch as we would like on a phone that costs more than $500. Power and volume key do move a bit, but luckily don't rattle. Also, the home button makes a cheap sounding noise when pressing it and also seems to get slightly stuck if you don't press it accurately. Another flaw we noticed is that the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 isn't the most sturdy phone. You don't need to apply much force in order to bend it. This means that the phone is rather fragile and you should handle it with care. The screen of the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 was a huge disappointment. Xiaomi advertised it with the usually Apple-esque superlatives, but sadly doesn't deliver according to them. Reason for this is the technology of the screen. In order to make the curved panel possible, they used a POLED technology. Sadly, this technology isn't known for outstanding picture quality and still suffers from quite some issues, including a grainy picture and much less sharpness than regular AMOLED or LCD screens. Also, there is some ghosting around fonts, especially at lower brightness, and also there are lines across the whole picture which do look rather ugly. In addition, the viewing angles are really shitty. Tilting the screen just slightly away, it immediately shows a bluish tint. That's quite an issue since, due to the curved edges of the panel, you always look at a certain area of the screen with a bit of a tilted angle. This means that the edges, especially with bright content, always look a little bit different than the rest of the screen that is facing you. So, bottom line is that the screen is rather unacceptable for such an expensive phone. Xiaomi preferred putting a useless curved screen on the Mi Note 2 over delivering an outstanding screen performance. Useless? Yes, there are no features which make use of the curved screen. The only reason for the curved screen seems to be making headlines. The 10-point digitizer works very well. Palm rejection is great and prevents you from accidentally triggering touches on the curved screen area. The digitizer also is very fast and reacts immediately to touches. The screen glass is scratch-proof and oleophobic. Performance-wise, the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 doesn't have to hide, boasting a Snapdragon 821 SoC, 4GB of fast LPDDR4 RAM and 64GB of UFS 2.0 memory. Basically, there's nothing which could make the Mi Note 2 lag, and of course, current games can all be played smoothly at highest graphics settings. Heat of the phone always stays within a comfortable level, but the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is one of the Snapdragon 821 phones which reach the highest temps though. Reason for this likely is the glass rear, which doesn't move away the heat as good as metal bodies. As on any other high-end phone from Xiaomi, the Mi Note 2 does not support microSD cards, so you have to live with the internal memory. Sensor equipment of the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is top-notch, gyroscope and compass both work fine. The fingerprint scanner is very fast and unlocks the phone in a fraction of a second. Just the reliability could be a bit better since on average 2 of 10 unlocking attempts fail. Maybe this will be improved with future updates. The Xiaomi Mi Note 2 comes with MIUI 8. In case your phone ships with a translated shop ROM, we recommend you to get rid of it since it could include malicious software and often comes with bugs, bad performance and no OTA updates. The original Xiaomi firmware is available in both Chinese and global flavors. Global supports multi-language Google Play and is based on Android 6.0.1. For our review, we are using the global ROM. To install it, you have to unlock your bootloader first. If you want your Mi Note 2 with pre-installed global ROM, you have to pick the top-end model in the global version. Reception quality on the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is top-notch, but the signal strength on mobile networks has been a tad lower than on the OnePlus 3 or Leica Pro 3. LTE band 20 is not supported except for the most expensive top-end global version of the phone. The Wi-Fi signal strength was great and the module supports AC Wi-Fi. We have been able to fully use our 200 Mbit internet connection. One floor below the router we still reached a bandwidth of 100 Mbit per second. Bluetooth and NFC both worked fine during our test. GPS does work well on the Mi Note 2, we tried navigation with Google and Here Maps, as well as tracking using Google Fit, and we never experienced any issues. The Xiaomi Mi Note 2 boasts some serious hi-fi specs, including a dedicated audio processor and 2 amplifiers. This makes up for great audio quality, especially when using headphones. The phone also reached an impressive maximum volume. The audiophiles among you surely will love it. The internal speaker sadly doesn't offer stereo sound, but still sounds pretty decent with rather strong basses. Telephony quality has been top-notch too, and the noise cancelling works very well. The 22.56 megapixel Sony IMX318 main camera with f2.0 aperture and 4K EIS support on the paper is the icing on the cake. Sadly, reality does look different. Like they demonstrated with previous high-end devices, Xiaomi just isn't good at doing proper cameras anymore. Reason for that? Likely the enormous amount of phones the manufacturer pushes onto the market. It seems like there is no time left to do proper camera optimization. Competitor Meizu suffers from the same issues, by the way. Now, the camera inside the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 for sure isn't a bad one, but inside a phone that costs more than $500 we expect a top-notch camera which does almost everything right. And exactly this is not the case. The camera is easily outperformed by the much cheaper OnePlus 3 or in some situations even by the Echo Pro 3. Especially the low-light performance of the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 has been catastrophic. At late dawn at night it is almost impossible to take proper pictures. Just look at those pictures taken at the Christmas market in Lübeck. Those pictures have been taken with a steady hand and there has been sufficient light, yet they all look totally blurred and lack detail. Even when using a tripod it's hard to get sharp pictures, since the phone often doesn't get the focus right. For such an expensive phone, this camera performance just is unacceptable. Videos look kinda bad too. The electronic image stabilization, which does support 4K videos, is way too aggressive and often tries to filter out intended movements. In addition, 4K causes a significant degradation in video quality, especially during movement. The picture gets slightly unsharp and we also noticed some fractals being generated. Now, if you think that this can be fixed by disabling EIS, you are wrong. You simply can't disable it. The front camera doesn't live up to the phone's price tag either. For some unknown reason, Xiaomi swept out the usual 5MP ultra-pixel camera for a 8MP standard sensor, which offers a much worse quality and performs rather bad in low-light situations. Battery life is where the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 performs great again. The 4070 mAh cell makes up for a day of intense usage without having to recharge. 8 hours screen on time can be reached easily. Recharging thanks to Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 takes just around 2 hours. Verdict: the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is a really beautiful high-end phablet. Sadly, Xiaomi screwed up quite some things. First, they went with the curved screen hype despite not offering any additional value with this feature, while at the same time decreasing picture quality a lot. Second mistake, they haven't made sure that the camera is top-notch, which these days is a big no-no in the upper price category. So in the end, we basically have a great high-end phablet, but with a bad screen and camera. Well, some might still love the phone and the Xiaomi fanboys likely won't get around purchasing it, but still, price-performance ratio is far from being good, so if you are after best value for money, we would rather recommend the Xiaomi Mi 5S Plus, in case you really want something from Xiaomi. So that's all for this review. I'm Christopher for CMM, see you in the next one.